Students and guests, please remain standing for the national anthem and Hatikva, performed by the class of 2021 members of the Shenanigans, Jake Franklin and Joshua Sherman.
By the dawn's early light, what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Kolod balevav penima nefesh Yehudi homia ufate mizrach kadima ayin letzion Sophia od lo avda tikvatenu Hatikva bat shnot alpayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim liotam chofshi be'artzenu Eretz Zion v'Yerushalayim. Yes, sir.
Please be seated. Those of you with umbrellas, I'm asked to remind you that the umbrella should not block your view of the graduates. Gann Academy community, I am thrilled to welcome you to the 22nd commencement ceremony of the new Gann Academy, the new Jewish high school. I will now call upon Danielle Bejarano to give our invocation.
Please be seated. I officially welcome, I guess you guys are all seated already. That's great. I officially welcome students, parents, faculty, staff, and guests to the 22nd commencement ceremony at Gann Academy. Welcome, everyone. It is such a pleasure to be addressing the Gann Academy class of 2021 students and families. To start off, I'd like to thank all the amazing faculty and staff who made this year and the last four not only possible, but extraordinary. From the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for everything you've done and continue to do. In many ways, the class of 2021 resembles a Havdalah candle, Gann's seal. Though each of us is our own individual, our own entity, we have come together over the last 4 years to create something larger, a loving, tight-knit community, just as several individual wax strands are intertwined to create a Havdalah candle. Like fire, we each burn with desire and passion to learn and grow and ultimately change the world around us. The Havdalah ceremony, which marks the end of Shabbat and the beginning of a new week, is analogous to this limbo period in which we are all currently finding ourselves, finishing high school and figuring out our next steps in life. We have also encountered some moments which have challenged the vitality of our flame, whether it be feeling burnt out from Zoom classes last spring, the stresses of the college process, or senioritis. These challenges were like a sudden gust of wind that can make a flame falter and sputter. And so, there's not a doubt in my mind that after this summer, we will not only feel replenished and rekindled, but also be ready to begin this exciting new stage in our lives. We will find new communities, new wax strands with which to intertwine, and find new passions where our curiosity burns fervently. Rabbi Noah Weinberg, a different one than our cherished Garmer, Gann farmer for those unfamiliar with Gann slang, once said, quote, "People often avoid making decisions out of fear of making a mistake. Actually, the failure to make decisions is one of life's biggest mistakes," end quote. I think we've all had moments in our lives, myself included, where fear has driven our decisions or our indecisions. This sort of fear is also like that gust of wind. And so, I want to bless you, class of 2021, with the courage to take a leap of faith, to take risks, and never let that fear extinguish your flame. Mazel tov, everybody. And please enjoy our video presentation, Memories of Gann. I think they're going to be on both screens, so, all right.
Please welcome Gann's Chair of the Board of Trustees, William Foster.
Hello, graduates of the class of 2021, proud parents and grandparents, teachers and faculty, community members here and on Zoom. It's my honor to give these remarks and express gratitude to the graduating seniors and all of you on behalf of Gann Academy's Board of Trustees. Last Sunday, when I was working on these remarks, what I would say, I was surrounded by the buzz and excitement of my daughter Trudy preparing for the senior prom. And I realized that compared to the energy and excitement of that event, these remarks would probably be significantly less memorable. So, for the seniors, let me summarize in one sentence what you will probably take away from what I say here today. Wah, 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 wah. And if that is all you remember from what I say today, your future will be as bright and promising as it was when you woke up this morning. Now, let me turn to the entire community assembled here. My mandate is to share a reflection of where we are as a whole. 4 years ago, when these seniors entered Gann Academy, they were each asked, "Who will you become?" Throughout their time at Gann, this question echoed across the contours of their Gann education. And in this past year of unprecedented challenges, we were all forced to ask ourselves a version of this question: who would we become? In these times, we could have failed and fumbled through what was difficult. In fact, that was probably the most likely outcome, the path of least resistance. It's what would have happened if we hadn't found something deep within ourselves. But I'm delighted to say that this past year, Gann became a pillar of stability, offering anything it took to work and deliver on our core mission for students, and a model of innovation and improvement, leaning into the future. Our parents and community are dedicated, our school's faculty and staff truly remarkable. I'd like to thank you all, as well as the steadfast leadership of the school, particularly Dr. Hochman. A most sincere thank you for enabling us to reach this moment. Thank you. And our students, particularly our seniors, you are truly inspiring. You showed up with your full selves on August 25th until today for learning and for each other. Noga and the rest of the student council, you developed a brief to help us manage our behavior and expectations during the pandemic, and as a result, we were able to stay open the entire year. Throughout this year, the class engaged in service to others, helping the elderly get vaccinated, actively participating in local politics and national elections, and expanding nonprofits like Lior Antal's now national State of the Students. Our seniors navigated a chaotic college admissions year filled with unknowns and new stresses, and secured admission to a range of thoughtful, well-matched, and impressive colleges. And our Gann students did not let the joys of life fall by the wayside. They performed 3 major theatrical productions this year. The Shenanigans sang the national anthem at Fenway just this past week. And even without the sports leagues that we've relied upon, many Gann teams were able to participate in the competitions and the sports that they love. I'd like to give a particular shout out to the girls softball team for your huge victory against Waltham High to finish the season. Congratulations. And to our Gann faculty and leadership, you showed up with your full selves from the very first day of school. Despite challenges and anxiety, you did everything it took to educate and nurture our students. The Gann team leaned into opportunities that were forced by this crisis, developing a new year-long humanities curriculum to anchor the 9th grade experience, and semester-long courses that were so successful many will continue next year. We brought on board new school leadership and faculty, some of whom are already favorites of this class. None of this was easy, not in the least. Tens of thousands of hours of persistence, trust, effort were required to reach this moment through twists and turns that were unpredictable. Gann seniors, you are an amazing class. I hope that you will never need to navigate another year of challenges like this one, but you have shown that you have the grace and strength to face whatever is in front of you. Now, You may not ever be able to look at your children and say you had to walk to school in the snow, uphill, both ways, but you do have something to share with those who come after you. Take the hardship and setbacks of this time, the accomplishments of this year into your future. You have become stronger, more empathetic, and more purposeful. As board chair, I have found myself saying Dayenu, it would have been enough, dozens of times through this year. On the first day of school, the faculty showed up despite all of the unknowns of the pandemics, Dayenu. The school leadership completely reconfigured the physical layout of the school and the course schedule to make sure we could operate, Dayenu. An emergency fund was raised to assist families with tuition who were facing unexpected financial hardship, Dayenu. And you, our seniors, launched all of the extracurriculars and clubs that are the lifeblood of the entire student body, Dayenu. Of course, as in the Passover story, no one step would have actually been enough. We needed something more every time, and at every turn this community delivered. Benjamin Disraeli, the United Kingdom's first and only Prime Minister of a Jewish background, said, "Success is the product of unremitting attention to purpose." Because of Gann's unremitting attention to our purpose, we will be able to look back at this year as one of tremendous success. Seniors, we could not have done it without each of you. Know that as your very strong class leaves your Gann home, whether you enter the halls of new institutions of higher learning, embark upon gap year experiences, or begin service in the IDF, know that in these halls of Gann, you will be followed by an entering class of 9th graders that is the largest in our history, all of whom will benefit from what you have built this year and will attempt to fill the big shoes that you leave behind. On behalf of the Board of Trustees, I want to express my deepest gratitude to the teachers and staff, to the students and families, to the donors and school leadership, and most particularly to you, the class of 2021. This has been a year with many challenges, but the positive effects of your attention to purpose will be felt for years to come. Thank you. It's now my pleasure to introduce Dr. Dalia Hockman to welcome Gann Academy's newest inductees into the Esser and Chai Societies. The Esser and Chai Societies honor faculty and staff with 10 and 18 years of dedicated service to the school.
What a year to work in the field of education. At this time, I'd like to ask our entire community, including the students, the parents, the grandparents, siblings, to rise to honor the faculty and staff of Gann Academy for persevering this year in the face of innumerable challenges. Please extend our appreciation for what that has entailed. Now, Gann traditionally honors Gann employees who have been at our school for 10 years as part of our Esser Society and for 18 years as part of our Chai Society. Today, I'd like to name first and start with the Esser Society. And I know you're all going to want to shout and cheer, but please hold your applause until the end. We will be giving each member, each inductee into the Esser Society a formal thank you tomorrow at our faculty and staff luncheon. But on behalf of the entire community, I want to honor the people who have been at this school for 10 years, the Esser Society inductees. They are Dr. Kevin Cottrell, Dr. Susan Cheloff, Ray Daniels, Andrew Davis, Sarah Dubois-Farley, Sherry Geller, Lindsay Goldstein, and Lily Rabinoff Goldman. And now we will have a special video to honor the members of the Chai Society.
One of the greatest honors and privileges I've gotten in quite some time at Gann Academy has been being asked to say a few words about the incomparable Elena Morgan. I'm guessing that quite a few faculty and staff are quite jealous of me right now, thinking to themselves how much they love Senora Morgan and about how many things they could say about her. She is indeed one of the most beloved people to ever walk the halls of either 333 Forest Street or the many floors of Prospect in Maine. I only fear I will not be able to do her justice. Our journey together began 20 years ago on that second floor of that bank building in downtown Waltham. It was within moments of meeting her in that tiny closet we called an office that I knew we'd gotten a pretty special colleague in our hands. I don't think we got a whole lot of work done that year or in the ensuing years since, as we ensured that we'd remain office mates after moving to our current campus on the Hill. We've spent most of our time laughing, gossiping about the kids, and sometimes planning out lessons. And you would take that sense of joy with you wherever we would go. It's been my great blessing to be able to laugh, live, and learn with you in Poland, Prague, Washington, D.C., Alabama. And on those trips, none of them would have been what they were without you. Yes, we laughed a lot. Indeed, it became an annual game for the kids, trying to figure out what Mr. Cadden and what Senora Morgan were laughing about this time. But that joy for life is unrivaled by your unquenchable thirst for learning. Indeed, you are one of the most curious people I know. I love to travel with you, not only because of the joy you bring to our trips, but also because of the sense of wonderment you bring to every experience. We'd come out of a Supreme Court oral argument and then spend hours discussing the merits of this case or that. Or we'd spend an equal number of hours unpacking what we just learned from our session at the Equal Justice Initiative. You listen so carefully to what everyone has to say, and you then engage with their ideas with a genuine stance of inquiry. I'm always amazed, but probably shouldn't be, at the incredible level of detail you remember about everything we did from year to year. We visited here and met with her that year. Kids love this program, but not that one. So of course, you are the first person to meet with me to celebrate when that obscure circuit court judge we visited years back, some guy named Merrick Garland, was named to the Supreme Court. So you are my irreplaceable thought partner in developing whatever plans we will do on any given trip. But what you really remember, the details that really stay with you in profound and meaningful ways, are about the kids. You get to know them in deep ways. You are curious about their lives, and you're a trusted mentor and confidant for so many of them. There's not one kid who leaves your class or your advisory not loving Elena Morgan. It is thus no accident that you maintain these relationships with the kids long term. It feels like almost daily that you tell me about how this long ago graduated alum or this or that one is doing. You continue to know the details of their lives as if they were still students again. For you, a relationship developed in a Spanish class or an advisory is a sacred bond and one that is likely to last lifelong. Finally, Elena is one of the most giving human beings I've ever had the pleasure to know. The following two stories about Elena will surprise no one who knows her. When my daughter Maddie needed to do a school project, I think it was in 4th or 5th grade, in which she needed to interview someone who had immigrated from a foreign country, Maddie immediately thought of Elena. No one would be warmer, funnier, or more generous in her time and spirit than Senora Morgan. And of course, she was all of those things, but so much more. Not only did Elena spend hours with Maddie, she sent her pictures, she sent her maps, and she sent her actual samples of dulce de leche. Maddie was thus able to tell a rich story about Argentina and also a loving portrait of one of Argentina's finest exports. I mean Elena, not dulce de leche, but that was pretty good too. And then this past year, I got an email from Elena, who was visiting her mom in Buenos Aires. What do you think Maddie wants for her bat mitzvah? And when my daughter told her what she wanted, Senora Morgan traipsed all over the capital city in the middle of a pandemic looking for that gift. And of course, it almost needn't be said, she brought that gift over in person in the middle of a snowstorm. I'm not kidding. It's been the honor of a lifetime to laugh, learn, and live life to the fullest beside you, Elena Morgan, at Gann Academy, and really throughout the world. I can't think of anyone else I'd rather have done that with. I know that I'm not even close to being the only person who feels this way, and that is what makes you so special. We love you.
Hi, everyone. I'm so happy to be here today to honor my colleague, my mentor, my friend, Abby Shapiro, as she reaches 18 years of service to Gann Academy. Everyone who knows Abby realizes what a treasure Gann has in her. She is the consummate educator, passionate about her subject, her students, her teaching. She's an absolute master teacher, in addition to being a complete joy to be around. In 18 years, Abby's brought her expertise to 10th, 11th, and 12th grade classrooms at Gann. She's traveled Boston, the Northeast, even Europe with Gann students. She's been an advisor extraordinaire, as ready to support a student through a rough patch with a friend as she is to recommend the exact right elective for that student. She's mentored English teachers, rabbis, art teachers, and helped design curriculum across our entire school. She's helped develop our school's philosophy on grading and participated in hiring many of our teachers. She's had a massive impact on what we teach and how we teach it. Abby's former students and current students adore her, and have reported that they keep a running list of her comments, both funny and profound. Several years ago, when my creative nonfiction students had an assignment to profile a teacher they didn't know very well, a student jumped at the chance to interview the legendary Mrs. Shapiro. In the profile, the student described a scene in Abby's classroom. Here's what she wrote. The class begins and a feeling of awe washes over the room as students discuss how powerful and beautiful this text is. In this class, the planets align as Shapiro sees firsthand how literature can move people and create empathy within them. I love how this scene captures Abby's view of art and teaching, and also the enthusiasm of her students. Abby's passion is contagious. The energy in her room just sparkles. If my math is anywhere near correct, in nearly 2 decades at Gann, Abby has taught somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 English classes. That's a lot of planets aligning. A lot of learning, a lot of laughter, and a lot of memories. To me, Abby represents the absolute heart and soul of what we do here and who we are. She's genuine, she's thoughtful, she's generous. She knows her stuff in this school as well as anyone, and she is really, really fun and funny. She is a role model for anyone who walks through that arch. Abby, congratulations on 18 years of wonderful work at Gann. May there be 18 more.
Okay, if you're getting really hot, you can put the umbrellas back on. It's okay. Now we are thrilled to show a musical performance from our very own Shenanigans.
There are places I remember all my life, though some have changed.
Some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain.
All those places had their moments with lovers and friends. I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living.
In my life, I love them.
בשלב זה שוב על הדרך, כבר מושטת לרגליי, אל ימים ולילות, אל מסע חיי. אני אומר שלום לכל אחד, ארץ נרדמת ולב נפרד.
מן הבית בו גדלתי, נשמתי עוד מביטה, חלונות נפלקים אל אמת פשוטה. אני הולך איתה לכל מדבר, ארץ חורגת או דרך בר.
אבל כמי הנחל הסוער, תמיד אני חוזר, לאן שגעגועתו ייקח, לשם אני שייך.
ואם מישהו בבית מסתכל עלייך שם, כאדם לאדם, לא לאור כוכב, אני אומר תודה בכל מירד, ארץ נפרדת ולב אחד.
אבל כמי הנחל הסוער, תמיד אני חוזר, לאן שגעגועתו ייקח, לשם אני שייך.
There are places I'll remember all my life. Though some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places have their moments. With lovers and friends, I still can recall. Some are dead and some are living. In my life, I love them all. In my life, I've loved them all.
It's my honor to ask David Mickley, class of 2006, to offer alumni greetings.
Good afternoon, Gann students. My name is David Mickley, and 15 years ago, I was sitting in your seats as a member of the Gann class of 2006. A little background on me. I grew up in Newton, went to college at Emory, and came back to the Boston area where I held a few jobs in the Jewish community. I worked in recruitment at Prosdor, as a fundraiser at CJP, and then moved to Tel Aviv where I directed the Tamid Fellowship, a summer internship program. Working in Tel Aviv was incredible. What was supposed to be one summer turned into 3 years, and eventually I returned to Boston to go to business school at MIT. I studied finance because that's where all the big donors at CJP seem to make their money, and I ended up finding the subject interesting too. After graduating, I worked at Bridgewater Associates, a hedge fund known for being very big and slightly crazy, and today I lead sales at a cryptocurrency startup. If I have one piece of advice for you, it's buy Bitcoin. Just kidding. This speech is not about encouraging you to buy Bitcoin, nor even go into finance. Gann alum go on to do all sorts of impactful work. Among my classmates include teachers and principals, doctors and nurses, social activists, and nonprofit leaders. My personal career has not been a straight line, as I bounce between the nonprofit, public, and private sectors. But really, if you are interested in buying Bitcoin, talk to me after. To be honest, My time at Gann was a mixed experience. Initially, I didn't want to attend Gann. My parents made me, and they're listening to this right now. After 2 years, they let me transfer to New North, where I had pipe dreams of playing for the star-studded basketball team. It took me only 1 month to realize that I had no chance, after which I returned to Gann and had a spot on the varsity basketball team basically without even trying out. I was the tallest kid at Gann, and while I couldn't dunk, I could grab the rim. And for a Jewish high school, that was more than enough. Once the choice was mine, my experience of Gann was greatly enriched. Not because Gann changed, but because my attitude did. I started to appreciate the phenomenal teachers, like Mr. Cadden and Abby Shapiro, and yeah, we do have a running list of quotes, none of which I will recite today. Sure. As well as my fellow students, who were funny, brilliant, and at the core, good-hearted. While I had close friends, it's not like I was best friends with everyone. If you look around the seats right now, you'll probably see a mix of close friends as well as classmates who you just don't know that well. But what you just went through together, your high school years, will bond you forever. Gann alum continue to pop up in my life in unexpected and impactful ways. Like the classmate who helped me and my wife design our ketubah for our wedding, or the basketball teammate who let me crash on his couch in Tel Aviv for a full month as I scrambled to find an apartment, or the alum who I just bumped into at a crypto conference earlier this month. While your high school experience is over, in a strange way, the impact of it is only just beginning. The relationships you created here begin to matter even more over time. It's sort of like finance. The basic tenet of finance is that you give up something today for something of greater value tomorrow. You just invested your high school years to this group of people, to this community, that includes everyone in this room, as well as those that came before you and those that will come after. And the benefit of that investment is really ahead of you, to be connected to your class here today and the broader Gann alum community. I hope you all take advantage of this benefit. Personally, if I can be helpful to any of you, please reach out. My email is dmickley@gmail, and I mean it, reach out. But before looking ahead, I want to encourage you to take a minute to simply recognize today, this moment, now. I forgot a lot of what I learned in high school, but a few things stuck. One piece of poetry I remember is an excerpt from Leaves of Grass by Walt Whitman, which I learned in Mr. Kodish's English class. I wanted to read these words today because to me this poem is about the power of the present. And while a graduation is both a moment to reflect on the past and look to the future, it is also a moment to celebrate today. I'll leave you with these words from Mr. Whitman and allow them to resonate how they may. Stop this day and night with me, and you shall possess the origin of all poems. You shall possess the good of the earth and sun. There are millions of suns left. You shall no longer take things at second or third hand. Congratulations and Mazal Tov class of 2021, and welcome to the Gann alumni community. We invite first Joshua Sherman to give reflections in English, and then Noga Starobinsky to give reflections in Hebrew. An English translation of the Hebrew speech will be projected on the screens and live stream.
Good afternoon, everyone. Family, friends, faculty and staff, members of the Board of Trustees, and of course, my fellow classmates. My name is Josh Sherman, and I am honored to be graduating this year with the outstanding Gann Academy class of 2021. As I look back at the past 4 years of our shared Gann experience, I cannot help but feel an incredible sense of accomplishment. I have vivid memories that seem to encapsulate the journey we have been on together. From Jacob Pearl's victory in the first icebreaker game we played on Step Up Day, to taking over a small synagogue's Havdalah service in Sfat, to transitioning to online learning and returning to school stronger than ever, our class has achieved so much more than I could have ever imagined. While I am very excited for the next chapter of my life to begin, as I'm sure all of you are as well, I want to make sure that we hold on to this moment and recognize the pride that we deserve to feel. In Exodus 39, with a long to-do list, God commands the Israelites to build a tabernacle. Quote, "And when Moses saw that they had performed all the tasks, As the Lord had commanded, so they had done. Moses blessed them. End quote. After finishing the long, detailed, and grueling task of constructing the Mishkan, Moses and the Israelites pause to rejoice and savor in their hard work. Like the beautiful siyum our school experienced together after our classmate David Engel completed his study of Mishnah, I want us to be able to reflect on and celebrate the successes and setbacks we have all experienced together. I'd actually like to tell you about a TikTok video that I recently watched. The video was of a man acting out stereotypical scenarios that apparently often happen at graduations and graduation parties. One line that he said was, "Wow, congratulations on doing something that 94% of US citizens have already completed." While he was of course making a joke, the line really stuck out to me. In some ways, I don't believe that our class only belongs in that 94%. I believe that we have received such a personalized and exceptional 4-year experience that we belong in a category of our own. Gann Academy prizes rigorous academics, and I would argue places an even higher value on us, the students, becoming the best versions of ourselves. Before every test in her class, my science teacher and of course, spirit watcher, Layla Goodman, gives a speech about academic integrity. In every speech, she says something along the lines of, "If you cheat and I catch you, there will always be a dent in our relationship. But if you cheat and I don't catch you, there will always be a little black mark on your heart." And she sometimes adds, "If you want to pray, don't pray that you will know all the answers. Instead, pray that all the knowledge you have already accumulated will flow to your brain." Layla has been my teacher for the past 2 years, so I have grown to enjoy this spiel over time. In repeating this reminder to her students, Layla demonstrates that she trusts us and cares for us, and I feel so lucky to be able to say that I have felt the same from every other teacher I have learned from at Gann. In his book titled Old New Land, the late Jewish journalist and my personal birthday buddy, Theodore Herzl, states, "Im tirtzu ein zo agada," meaning, if you will it, it is no dream. There have been many bumps in the road throughout our time here at Gann, even times when I didn't know how our class was going to get back on its feet. These were the times that I doubted our collective ability to be as strong as I now realize we are. I wish that we could each return to those moments of uncertainty, the weeks of work overload, the months of online learning through the pandemic, to tell each other, "Im tirtzu ein zo agada," if you will it, it is no dream. Gann faculty have consistently encouraged us to push ourselves as much as we are willing and able to do so. And the school's tagline, "Who will you become?" in big block letters on the wall right as you enter the building, is a constant reminder that we each have endless potential. Our challenge is to access that potential and make choices every day that help us become the people we want to be. I'm so proud of how we have all independently and collectively risen to that challenge throughout high school. Just recently, I found myself in a conversation with Gann's Jewish Life and Farm Education Coordinator and resident best friend of Eli Whitkin, Noah Weinberg. Noah was telling me that growing up in the Reform movement, he used to enjoy experiencing different approaches to Judaism while attending his Schechter classes B'nai Mitzvot. Near the end of the conversation, he mentioned how at this point in his life, he prefers to simply be Jewish, and how comfortable he is under that label at Gann. As I listened to Noah talk, his words deeply resonated with me. It means so much to me as a student to hear about how the idea of pluralism at Gann has had such a significant impact on his life and Gann experience. Gann's commitment to pluralism has certainly been at times challenging for us. Whether it be in Jewish studies class, all school assemblies, in art studios, or even on athletic fields, making space for all voices can be difficult, but it is also quite necessary. As a result of our unique Gann education, we are more aware, empathetic, reflective, and open to other perspectives. I have enjoyed learning from my peers and teachers alike about your different religious backgrounds and beliefs and how they have shaped your lives. To my fellow classmates of the graduating class of 2021, all these moments of connection, the stories, memories, and experiences, the challenges and successes, we carry them with us as we say farewell to the familiarity of our high school years. I am confident that when we all look back on our time here at Gann, we will feel truly fortunate to have experienced this extraordinary adventure together. Hold on to the memories we've created and the relationships we have built and sustained. I am so grateful to be carrying them with me as I take my next steps in life. Congratulations to all of us on making it to this moment. Im tirtzu, ein zo agada. If you will it, it is no dream. Thank you. Please welcome my fellow graduate, Noga Starbinsky, to share her Gann reflections in Hebrew.
שלום לכולם, וברוכים הבאים לטקס סיום של מחזור 21 של גאן אקדמי. היום זה יום של גאווה, אושר ושמחה. יום של תקווה לעתיד וגם התבוננות אל העבר. ביום מרגש זה אנו חוגגים את סיום לימודי התיכון לצד פתיחת פרק חדש עבור כל אחד ואחת מאיתנו, על פי מסלול הבחירה האישי שלו. ברגע דרמטי שכזה, חשוב להביט לאחור על כברת הדרך המשותפת שעשינו ביחד בגאן אקדמי, ולהכיר בהישגינו כיחידים וכשכבה. התחלנו את החוויה המשותפת שלנו בגאן, קצת מפוחדים וחוששים. טוב, אולי יותר מקצת. באנו מבתי ספר שונים וערים שונות, ולמדנו להתמודד עם מצבים חברתיים ואקדמיים חדשים. הסתגלנו למערכת שעות חדשה, אוכל מפנק בקפיטריה, והגשת משימות ושיעורים בזמן, בכל כיתה. נעזרנו לא פעם במורים, ובשכבות הבוגרות יותר בבית הספר, כדי למצוא את דרכנו. ככל שבילינו יותר זמן ביחד כשכבה, באמצעות שבתונים, טיולים, ימי גיבוש ועוד, הרגשנו יותר ויותר בנוח בבית הספר, וכתוצאה מכך, השתתפותנו ותרומתנו רק הלכו וגדלו בהתאמה. בזכות התושייה והכישורים המגוונים שלנו, השגנו הישגים רבים ומרשימים, לא רק בכיתה, אלא גם מחוצה לה. מעבר ללימודים הרגילים בכיתה, עודדנו כתלמידים להיות פעילים, לעשות מעשה ולקחת סיכונים מחושבים. עודדנו לחשוב בצורה ביקורתית ולבחון את אמונותינו. בשיעורי מדע למדנו לחקור, לחפש תשובות, הוכחות וצידוקים לחומר החדש. במדעי הרוח נחשפנו לעולם הספרות והחברה, ודנו בנושאים בוערים בעולמנו, דוגמת אפליה גזעית, בעיות כלכליות, אנטישמיות ומגפת הקורונה. בנוסף להצלחות המרובות בכיתה, הצטיינו גם במגרשי הספורט, בחוגי העניין השונים, ובפעילויות ההתנדבותיות בתוך בית הספר ומחוצה לו. רבים מבני שכבתנו מילאו תפקידים מרכזיים בקבוצות הספורט השונות, כדורגל, טניס ובייסבול לבנים, וקבוצות כדורעף וכדורסל לבנות. זכינו באליפויות, והגדלנו את אוסף גבעי הניצחון המרשים של בית ספרנו. תרמנו רבות לפיתוח חוגי עניין חדשים בבית הספר, לדוגמת חוג רובוטיקה לבנות. פרחנו בתחרויות של עריכת משפט מדומה, והקמנו חוג תמיכה בתלמידים חדשים. בקיצור, ובמילה אחת, הפכנו למנהיגים אמיתיים, והובלנו את בית הספר גם בימים לא פשוטים וקלים, כשמגפת הקורונה נשפה בעורפנו. גולת הכותרת של שכבתנו התרחשה מבחינתי במהלך טיולנו בישראל בסוף כיתה י'. בזמן עריכת הטיש שלנו בצפת, שרנו את שירו של רב נחמן מברסלב, כל העולם כולו גשר צר מאוד, והעיקר לא לפחד כלל. שיר זה הוא מטאפורה לחוויית ההתפתחות המשותפת שלנו בגן. במהלך 4 שנותינו בגן, הגשר היה הדרך הארוכה שבמהלכה גדלנו, למדנו, התנסינו והתגברנו. עכשיו, כשהגענו לסוף הגשר, גשר חדש של אפשרויות נפתח בפנינו. גן סיפק לנו כלים ושפע של הזדמנויות יהודיות וחילוניות לנסות לעשות תיקון עולם ולבצע שינוי. עכשיו, מוטל עלינו להשתמש בכלים שרכשנו בגן אקדמי, לקחת סיכונים, לצעוד קדימה בבטחה ולנסות להגשים את חלומותינו. כשאנחנו נכנסים לגשר הבא בחיינו, חשוב לזכור לא לפחד. החוויות וההתנסויות שלנו בגן ובקהילה עומדות לצידנו, והן תאפשרנה לנו להצליח ולגבור על כל אתגר שיעמוד בפנינו בעתיד. חברים וחברות יקרים, מחזור 21 של גן אקדמי, חזקו ואימצו, עלו והצליחו. I now welcome David Engel and Jordan Kramer to share with our community the 2021 senior class gift.
Through the amazing generosity of our families, the class of 2021 is honored to continue the tradition of the senior class gift. The senior class gift is a philanthropic opportunity for the graduating class to leave a legacy for future students while honoring their experience at Gann Academy. It is a chance to say thank you for 4 wonderful years.
The class of 2021 is proud to leave a multifaceted legacy. The gift encompasses essential upgrades and infrastructure to the Gann farm, including installation of fencing and an irrigation system, and purchasing new equipment such as caterpillar tunnels and seedling propagation kits to keep the farm growing all year long.
A special thank you goes to the parent co-chairs of this campaign, Malka Engel and Alan Sherman. Your dedication to Gann and to the class of 2021 is remarkable, and we are all deeply appreciative of your efforts. We know that these gifts are something we will take pride in seeing when we return to visit as alumni.
Thank you to the class of 2021 families, and thank you, Gann Academy.
It is now my honor to welcome Gann Academy's head of school, Dr. Dahlia Hockman, to deliver the keynote address to the graduates of the class of 2021.
Gann Academy seniors. On February 18th, 2021, while you were entering your final months of high school and the world was mostly focused on COVID-19, NASA landed its most ambitious operation to date on the planet Mars. Do you remember that? All right, let's take a look.
Straighten up and fly right maneuver in preparation for parachute deploy. The navigation has confirmed that the parachute has deployed and we are seeing significant deceleration. Skycam maneuver has started. About 20 meters off the surface.
We're getting signals from MRO.
Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance safely on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the sands of past life.
Looks like we're getting the first image.
This is the most amazing thing. This is what NASA does. This is what we can do as a country.
Dr. Swati Mohan, NASA's Guidance and Controls Operations Lead, narrated the landing with these words: "Touchdown confirmed. Perseverance has safely landed on the surface of Mars, ready to begin seeking the signs of past life." Now, to us Earthlings, the Perseverance mission seems like the stuff of science fiction. But this momentous event that transpired during your most unusual senior year of high school is actually a beautiful metaphor for your upcoming launch, journey, and touchdown. An immigrant to the United States, Dr. Swati Mohan is 38 years old, and she recalls how she became interested in space exploration. Here's what she writes. I remember watching my first episode of Star Trek at the age of 9 and seeing the beautiful depictions of the regions of the universe that they were exploring. I remember thinking, I want to do that. I want to find new and beautiful places in the universe. That's all well and good for a NASA engineer, but how can we imagine a place we have not yet seen? How do we plan a journey into the unknown while we are stuck in our bedrooms, crammed into a tiny electronic square on Zoom? Certainly, your class knows something about imagining the unknown. Unlike any other past seniors who visited colleges and went on those bucolic campus tours, you made choices about the future without ever seeing your destination. Last fall, you came to me and you said, Doc Hawk, all these colleges, they look the same. I'm so confused. What do I do? How do I make a good choice? And I said to you, look inward. Ask yourself, what makes you happy? I challenge you to think about the moments in life when you have been the most fulfilled. Because when you are imagining the unknown, it is always helpful to start with yourself. Similarly, 35-year-old NASA engineer Aaron Yazzie writes about how he designed the drill bits for the Mars rover. Yazzie, who is Navajo, imagined Mars to be like the rust-colored deserts he grew up in the Navajo Nation of northern Arizona. When stumped with an engineering problem, Yazzie daydreamed about playing on the mesas of his childhood, and he remembered the look and feel of Arizona's red rocks. He had to first go inward, into himself, to envision the right design for drilling on Mars. It was the familiar, not the foreign, that enabled a successful exploration. I don't know how many of you will be traveling to Mars this year, at least, maybe next year. But I do know that each and every one of you are going out there to explore strange and new lands. I urge you to find your red rocks, the rocks that bridge the familiar with the unfamiliar. These red rocks for you are the passions and the relationships that you have developed here at Gann. Your inspired Ma'avar projects have explored loneliness in the elderly and what makes human beings happy. You have documented important family histories for future generations. You have dazzled us with your artistry and your creativity. You have expressed yourself with truly exceptional and delicious cooking. You have advocated for environmental rights and disability education. And you have approached these endeavors with the ingenuity and the technological savvy that is unique to your generation, and dare I say, unique to this class of 2021. And heeding Aaron Yazzie, remember the 35-year-old NASA engineer from northern Arizona, I encourage you to find your red rocks, and I suspect that one of those red rocks will be the Jewish community. Whether that means participating in Hillel, or teaching at a local Hebrew school, or attending a Shabbat dinner, Jewish traditions and Jewish community will be your familiar beacons wherever you go. Because of your experience at Gann, you will recognize the language, the music, the rituals, and the connections that you find in these familiar places. So I have to admit, I'm pretty obsessed with this Perseverance mission. I know it's really nerdy, but I've been reading like everything about it. And I found out that the 7 minutes of entry, descent, and landing after entering the atmosphere are called by NASA engineers the 7 minutes of terror. And the liminal space in these 7 minutes between one planet and another, these 7 minutes are the focus of 20 years of work at NASA. 7 minutes, 20 years of work. It is fitting then that in the season of graduation, we are reading the 4th book of the Torah, Bamidbar, the book of Numbers, because it is in the liminal space between Egypt and the land of Canaan that the Israelites travel in the desert for 40 years. It is in the wilderness that people of Israel develop their true identity. Rabbi Shefa Gold writes about Bamidbar the following quotation: "The wilderness, the place you're about to go, is the place of your journey. The harsh inner reality of the wilderness purifies whatever traces of enslavement we still carry. The wilderness will scare out all our old ghosts and send them forth from the shadows into the full light of awareness. In the wilderness, we are stripped of our disguises. Defenses fall away. Each part within us is forced to show its true face." Gann Academy, class of 2021, the next stage of your life is your own personal Bamidbar, your own 7 minutes of entry, descent, and landing. And as you prepare to leave this very unusual world of the past 16 months and travel through the wilderness to the unfamiliar land, know that you are launching from a strong foundation that you have built here at Gann. My students, may you lean on your red rocks, the passions, the interests, and the relationships you have developed over 4 years. May you find comfort and strength in Jewish wisdom and Jewish community. May you hold on tight to the love of your family and to the tremendous faith they have in you. And may the extraordinary sacrifices of the faculty and staff of Gann Academy during this COVID year serve as an example for you how to rise in the face of a challenge. On behalf of the teachers, of the staff, of all of the families, of the trustees, and the entire Jewish community of Boston, I wish you mazal tov on the completion of your preparation, and b'hatzlacha, good luck as you get ready for your journey. Seniors, it's time for lunch. And now, I will call upon my colleague, Rabbi Hillel Green, Rabbi Green, to offer you all the special bracha for the Kohanim.
Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ye'er Adonai panav elecha v'yichuneka. May God shine God's face upon you and be gracious to you. Yisa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. May God lift up God's face to you and grant you peace. And let us say, Amen.
All right, you guys ready? Okay. It's my honor to call the Dean of Students of Gann Academy, Ms. Cindy Jacobs, to begin the process to award your diplomas.
All right. I don't know who's more nervous, me or y'all. It is my honor and privilege as the Dean for the class of 2021 to call you in alphabetical order to receive your diplomas. Okay. I call Benjamin Aaron. Talia Abrams. Tyler Allerhand. Yeah. This is Elizabeth Altman Sagan. Georgia Altman Sagan. Danielle Arbel. Inbal Armoni. Alicia Baker. Jacob Barrick. Danielle Bejarano. Brooke Berger. Aviav Bernstein. Jacob Carr Gloth. Aaron Sharapov. Oren Cohen. Zev Cohen. Jonah Kuzak Margolis. Kobe Diener Agus. David Engel. Jonah Ente. Kira Epstein. Aviva Feinberg. Trudy Foster. Emma Franklin. Jacob Franklin. Jacob Friedman. Hannah Friedman. Daniel Galper. Rebecca Geisberg. Zachary Gold. Yehuda Goldman. Eli Gross. Joshua Groisberg. Mia Gurvich. Allie Haber. Sam Hertzlinger. Eliana Chaim. Ben Jacobson. Yona Calico. Abigail Kamen. Sylvia Katz. Drew Clevin. David Cotton. Jordan Kramer. Alana Krebs. Sammy LaPat. Debbie Lilly. Douglas Lilly. Owen Lipschitz. Micah Margolis. Jacqueline Mitzenmacher. Ashley Morris. Lainey Paris. Jacob Pearl. Shira Pemstein. Miriam Rich. Simon Sherbet. Joshua Sherman. Hannah Shevitz. Emily Schulzen. Netanya Simon. Max Sinrich. Sarah Rose Skolnick. Liam Smoliar. Leora Soibelman. Nora Starhill. Noga Starobinsky. Aviva Stein. Jonah Weinstock. Aryeh Whittam. Benjamin Wilder. Danielle Yahalam. And Tal Yahalam. Wow. Congratulations, all of you ducks. In a moment, students will recess down the field towards the SAC building behind us. Faculty and staff, at this time, we invite you to form a recessional. We ask that family and friends please remain in their seats until students have passed through the faculty and staff reception line, which is our tradition. Oh my gosh. Did it. Not yet. Okay. I'm a little verklempt. Students. Okay, I'm waiting. No, not until I say. Okay, first. Thanks, Sammy. I think I'll wait. Students, first, please rise. Please rise. Move your tassel from right to left. It is with deep pride, appreciation, admiration, and love that I present the Gann Academy class of 2021. Mazel tov. You may now recess through the faculty reception line. Okay, you guys.
Shana